Hey guys, how's it going? Preparing here. So today I want to show you guys a few tricks that I like to do with my auras in the game because auras are a really big deal when it comes to having an under-geared character, and a pretty big deal, as you'll see soon, when you have a really geared character. And the part that's really interesting is how to cast them most effectively. So when you don't have that good gear, when you don't have that many sockets, this is very important, and in the later cases you'll see why. So right now on this character, I effectively have 4 auras, but I only use 3 of them at the same time. So the first is I use Hatred. I use Hatred off of my mana. And then I have Grace. But the thing is, because I have such a low mana pool, when I use Grace, it takes up way too much of my mana, as you can see. So because of that, I'd rather use it with Life. So what I have right now, I have Reduced Mana, Grace, Hatred, and Determination. So what I can do is I can take my Blood Magic gem, I only have 1 Blood Magic gem, and replace Determination in order to cast Grace off of my life, then put my Blood Magic gem back linked with Temporal Chains or Warlord's Mark, and I still keep the life reservation of Grace. This is because when you cast an aura, it uses the cost that it had when you cast it, and that never changes. So that's why I'm able to do that. The other thing is, for my last aura, in my case right now I can use Determination because I still have the reduced mana. But sometimes I need Purity. See, right now I have Sweep, Faster Attacks, and Purity. This is a really odd combination, but rather than linking Purity with reduced mana, what I can do is, if I need the resist, as you can see in Merciless, my resistor in the 60s, if I'm like, oh, I need that extra resist boost, I can drop Determination, get my Purity, but I want to cast it with reduced mana, so reduced mana is over here. I can move my reduced mana over there to cast a reduced mana Purity, and then I can, after that, move my reduced mana back in where Sweep is, so I still have Sweep with faster attacks, I still casted a reduced mana Purity, and if I need to, recast Hatred or recast Determination, I can do that without moving gems. So that's the idea there. It's really good to know about this stuff because, for instance, let's say I didn't have a 4 link here. Let's say I only had a 2 link. If I had a red and a green, I could, just use reduced mana on Hatred. I can move the reduced mana to another 3 link and use like reduced mana, Blood Magic Grace, replace the Blood Magic with Determination, and then cast the reduced mana Determination. So a lot of characters are built around the use of like 3 or 4 reduced mana gems, but in all reality, you only need 1. This is kind of the elementary stuff which you guys should be thinking about when you're doing some kind of race character in like the day, the week race kind of stuff, or when you just want to min-max the rest of your gear. I want to show you guys the extreme case of this methodology. Just put D&D before people go all crazy, and I'll show you guys how it gets really interesting. So this character, this is my main character. This is on hardcore still. It's not the race, but it is my main character, and this character uses 3 40% auras, and the auras are Purity, Determination, and Haste. And I also use a Grace off of my life. The Grace is linked with Blood Magic, Decoy, and Enfeeble, but the reason it's linked this way is that Enfeeble and Decoy need Blood Magic, because everything I cast on this character is through Blood Magic. And when it comes to the other auras, they're linked with Enduring Cry, because I kind of want to cast Enduring Cry every now and then. So none of them are linked with reduced mana, and when people see this, they don't really understand. This is how it works. I use this armor called the Covenant that gives me Blood Magic. There's a helmet that gives you Blood Magic, but also increases the costs by a lot, so you can use that if you want, but I wouldn't really recommend it. What this armor does is it kind of mimics the effect of Blood Magic as though you were in a map. And you can do this by zoning into a map as well that has Blood Magic, but that's a little bit crazier. So I can show you guys why this armor is valuable, especially for people who use Comb's Heart, because Comb's Heart really limits the number of gems that you can have in your character, so you really got to min-max it, and I'll show you how I accomplish this task. So in my case, first I want to put Grace on my life total, and the way I do that is I equip the Blood Magic armor, and I have Grace with Blood Magic and Decoy and Enfeeble. I don't want to cast it with Blood Magic because this increases the mana cost multiplier, and I already have Blood Magic from using the Covenant. So I take my reduced mana gem, swap it with Grace. So now Grace doesn't have Blood Magic, it has reduced mana. And I can cast Grace for a life reservation of 151. If I use it with the gem, the life reservation when I recast it is 417. Oh, sorry, toggle it there. It's 417. I don't want that. I'm using the armor, so I'm going to get 151. So that's the idea there. And now I can take off that gem, take off my reduced mana, put on my regular armor. I haven't cast the rest of my auras because my mana is still regenerating. That can take some time. So I'm just going to go in and out of town here quickly. And now I can take my reduced mana, switch out my Enduring Cry, cast my 3 40% auras, and then put Enduring Cry back in. So what did I accomplish by using this armor and a reduced mana gem that I'm not actually using? I accomplished using 3 40% auras without using reduced mana in my gear. And I accomplished casting Grace off of my life without it reserving more life than it would have mana, despite the fact that I don't have blood magic on this character. So those are some really, really cool things. You know, when it comes to min-maxing a character, it's very important to, you know, be on this level. I know this isn't any new information, but I think for some it is, and for me to show you guys this example of how I use it on my character is very relevant. Again, you often don't need to use all the crap that I need to do, but I need to do it because I have combs. But in many cases, more likely in guys watching, you know, you don't have 4 linked on everything, you don't have 6 linked on your weapon. So, you know, this really helps you cut down on the number of gems that you need, and especially if your class doesn't get that, you know, somewhat valuable reduced mana gem, at least you only know that you only need 1 of them at this point. You don't need to go and buy 3 of them for every single thing you have in your gear. So hopefully you guys learned some interesting stuff today, and use this towards your characters in the future. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.